Today we're in Frankfurt, Germany, attending Intergeo 2025. I'm here with my father and Champlin Tig from the Survey School. You guys excited? Let's head inside the hall. All right, I am here with Pierangelo, the CTO of Pix4D. It's great to see you here in Germany. Show us a little bit more about what Pix4D is up to.
Yeah, thanks Rami. It's great to see you again, and I'm happy to tell you about something that we're releasing, Gaussian splatting for drones. It means more beautiful models, but the way we built it at Pix4D means also more accurate models, bring you more complete and cleaner point clouds, better meshes, DSM and orthos. It's really revolutionizing the whole game here, and that's what we're introducing at Intergeo.
Nice, nice. Love to see how it looks.
So that's an antenna that was flown with a drone. What's so special about it, you'll ask me? It actually looks like reality, like a picture, but it is a Gaussian splat here. You can also measure on this reality now, and so we're really removing this gap between what people think is like kind of a surveying measurement and the reality. We can now measure on something that looks like it's real. Some vendors, they make something pretty, but it's not accurate or not geolocated. And actually we managed to do it in a way that it is both beautiful and accurate, and that's what makes us unique. Yeah.
Amazing, no, I love it.
It improves the core outputs of what surveyors care about, which is point clouds, for example. And then you have just better measurements, less noise, more completeness, even on hard surfaces like homogeneous surfaces or reflective surfaces. That's something that is going to be massively improved. And then also, well, if you have the core of what you do improved, that's the first big thing. But then the second one is that, well, surveyors, they want to sell their services as well. Sometimes they have decision makers who look at what's more pretty, and then they always had this dilemma of what do I show them now? Yeah. And now you can show them actually what we're really using, which is something beautiful and accurate. So you don't have this dichotomy anymore that you had before. And that's really a game changer in this regard as well.
Yeah, it brings the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Yeah, amazing. Cool. Well, thanks for showing me that, and looking forward to start using it with the new update.
Yeah, thanks, Rami.
I was noticing the equipment they're using here, and you won't see anything this cool unless you make it yourself in the US. And look at that. Dude, look at that platform. Imagine this coming around at 3 feet off the deck. Dude, that's amazing.
All right, so we are at the Emlid booth, and they just released the new RX2 and RS4 GNSS receivers. Let's chat with Igor and see a little bit more about what their new product line looks like.
You're from somewhere.
I don't know. Nice to meet you. What do you do exactly?
I was just passing by. Okay, Rami, hi.
Good to see you, Igor. How are you, sir?
Likewise, I missed you for the past 2 weeks.
I know. I was just in Hungary, and now we're here in Frankfurt. So cool. Well, tell us a little bit more about what you guys have been up to and some of the new products you just released.
Sure. So we're releasing 3 new products here. This is a new generation of Emlid receivers, so we're doing a full refresh of our product line, and they all come with completely new level of RTK performance. What does it mean on technical level, right? So we have here new antenna systems, new GNSS chipset, which means we will receive all bands from L1, L2, L5, and up to L6. And what that means for our users in real practice, that these receivers will work so much better in abstract environments under canopy. They will be more reliable. So it's like a whole new level of RTK performance that these receivers will be able to achieve. And it's actually the same between all 3 of these. But now a bit more about the differences. So this is the RX2. The RX2 is the successor of our Rich RX. It's a small receiver that fits in your pocket. It's just 250 grams, and it works off N-trip network. So this is essentially a network rover that we have here. This one has an IMU now, so you can take tilted measurements. So all of these receivers come with the new generation IMU that's up to 5 times faster compared to RS3. So it's just so much faster to align it and to start working. Moving on to Rich RS4 that Rami has here. Best GNSS performance, but also great all-rounder. Dual band radio, so that works both on 950 without a license. It does data logging, base station, anything, you name it. New premium magnesium alloy build. I mean, just a beauty. Look at it. The cherry on top, Rich RS4 Pro, which comes with 2 cameras, augmented reality stakeout and visual capture. Use the bottom and front cameras for navigating to a point, so that's actually just overlaying you a point over a video feed in mobile app. but you can also use the frontal camera to measure distant points. And my favorite feature, do you know what's my favorite feature, Rami?
What's your favorite feature?
My favorite feature is the new quick release mount that is available on all 3 products.
Oh yeah.
So just press this button and the receiver goes off. Put everything that we learned through RSs, RS pluses, RS2 pluses, RS3s, you know, all those receivers that you have, all the feedback you gave us, and we have over 60,000 receivers working out there. So it's a huge number, and we learned so much, and we took all of that experience and put it into design and engineering of this new product line. Yeah. So we're really excited. This completely next level performance, and it still stays very affordable and very easy to use just with an app on your iPhone. So
that's what I always say. I say the barrier to entry is so much lower now. Yet it doesn't compromise the quality of the work. As a surveyor, I want high quality, high accuracy. You get that here, and you know we've been using your products for years now. Appreciate all of the innovation and hard work you've put in to innovate and help in the industry. Thank you,
Rami. Thanks, Rami, for stopping by.
So what we're going to talk about today is 2 receivers, the new devices that we have. It's RS2 and RS4 Pro. So they are both satellite receivers, and they're needed to get accurate positions of the points for a lot of actually purposes. So it's like construction, utilities. So we're connected to it now in Emlid Flow, and you can see it's like you have no option to go wrong with the device. To get centimeter accurate position is corrections. So we configured our entry credentials, and then we have internet, so we got a fixed solution. Use the IMU of the receiver. We'll need a bit of time to wait for it to turn on. And now we're good. So now, now IMU is working, and we are good to just go and do the measurements here in the app. So it's like, I believe we can switch to the main dish and use RS4 Pro. What we're gonna also pay attention to now is the quick release system. Press it, rotate it, and it's done. To attach it, you just check here, there is a blue dot. There is also a blue dot here. So you just, place it. And
the blue dot?
You can just put it.
Perfect.
Right?
Lock?
Good. Yes.
All right, I passed.
Now we're gonna work with our new flagship device, RS4 Pro. So what it tells you to do, indeed, is to move the receiver to prepare the device, like to use the tilt compensation. So
okay, I can do figure eights.
Gonna be your turn.
Okay.
Yes. So you just do
eights.
8s. It's really cool that you're doing like couple of 8s. Nice.
Oh, success.
So now we can go and do the measurements, and now the tilt compensation is already working, and we can also do the stakeout. So for example, like this one. So you can also see that if you tilt the device, you can see it's like still stays okay.
Wow.
From here. Let me move it a little bit. What we can try as well, for visual capture, we will need first to capture some scene, some object. So we are switching to this mode. Now we have the image from the camera. We're just starting it.
Okay.
And again, going around the point. After that, I just click process.
Okay.
And after that, we will have a set of pictures based on this recording, covering our objects from different sides. So now it can be used to do the measurements, right, based on the picture. So for example, I measure this point, and once I do this first measure, it also get applied to the other pictures. So if needed, I can adjust it here.
But that sticks really well.
And then review the results.
Okay.
Here you will see all the pictures and where the point was found. So from here we can also save it, choose the name, and after that it's just saved to your project as if it was collected point, but this one was defined by pictures. Let's now also try to stake it out and use another feature, the camera in Stakeout. We're gonna need our new point, and now since we have a camera we can use it, and we already know where to go based on the image from the camera, and we can finish finding the point based on it. So now we're going to be somewhere here. We have also here a feature to save points in stakeout mode.
Okay.
So then if you're working with some, doing some as-built service or stuff like that, when you need to see how the reality matches the project, that may be really handy to do this measurement and then use the stakeout report, for example. And I believe that's going to be it.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
All right, so we're going to be doing an interview with Intergeo TV to talk about my experience so far and what I've seen here at the conference.
Intergeo GeoTV from Frankfurt, and right now here with me is YouTuber, influencer, but also the teacher for geospatial skills, Rami Tamimi. Hi,
Hi.
good to have you here. How are you
Thanks for
doing?
having me.
Yeah, what brought you to Intergeo this year? What are your first impressions when you're walking here around the halls?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thanks for having me back. I always love coming to this show. It's one of my favorite shows. I remember from year one, I was just blown away by the size and the capacity of knowledge that's here. So I'm always excited to see what's new, talk to new vendors, talk to new people in the industry, talk to old friends, keep seeing the industry grow every year.
Which conversation, which booth did you surprise most so far?
Yeah, I mean, some of the larger booths, you're talking like Hexagon and Emlid, they've really stood out and released new products. I've seen them, actually innovate and show us some new technology that can really help the surveying industry. Leica just released their TS20 total station, a fully AI robotic total station. Emlid just released a new GNSS receiver, so now it's got lots of great innovation. I love seeing this. I love seeing these companies I've been working with for years now continue to support us as surveyors in the field.
If you had to describe Intergeo in one sentence or word, so the vibe to your community, what would you say?
Community was the word I was going to use, honestly. I mean, this is my third year and I've met so many people throughout the years and I get to see them again at this show. We live all over the world, so it is truly a community. We come together, we celebrate our industry, we celebrate technology and innovation, and it's an event that we all look forward to every year.
What would you say are the top new 3 skills a new GIS professional should focus on in 2025 or 2026?
Strongly encourage you to focus on what makes you considered a professional. If you're young and you're still hungry and you're trying to get in there, look and see where your region's requirements are. If you have to go to university, start thinking about what courses or what degrees I need to be considered a professional 5 to 10 years from now. If you don't need to and there's no formal education necessary, start thinking about what relationships do I need to make? What technology do I need to invest in? AI continues to grow and become a huge pivotal point for many industries. Start seeing what parts of AI are relevant to what you want to study and want to work in your career. I mean, I'm still young and many people that are in this hall are still very young. So you can do so much in the next 5 to 10 years. So really invest in your education. I truly think that is what's going to take you the furthest and it's going to provide you the most value for the time that you're trying to invest in your education.
That brings me to your online community.
Yes.
And to your school. So what do your learners struggle most with and how do you nudge them through it?
I am the head instructor at the Survey School. The Survey School is an online education platform that educates people about surveying. We are finding that a lot of young, survey technicians that are trying to break into the industry, trying to understand technology a little bit better, are struggling to find resources. So we provide them with those resources, and we have partnerships with companies like Emlid and Pix4D who provide our students with free GNSS receivers and free photogrammetry software. So they're able to actually practice, even though we're an online platform, they're able to actually do physical work outside and actually implement what they learn. We also see a lot of business owners that may have some skills, maybe they're drone pilots, and they have some skills in photogrammetry and in aerial mapping, but they struggle with the survey stuff, the fundamentals. So we're giving people an opportunity to learn and to educate themselves without having to go through the stress of university. Once they're ready to make that commitment, we can help them, support them, give them tutoring, whatever they need as they transition into that field if they're looking to become licensed. Again, we're trying to build a community more than anything else, and a community of surveyors is strongly needed to maintain the growth of the industry.
What would you recommend someone who's visiting Intergeo for the first time?
Talk to those that are at all the booths and say, listen, it's my first time, I'm really trying to get into this industry, what got you into it? Ask others what they did to get into it, learn from others' mistakes. It'll give you like a shortcut, it'll show you, okay, like this is the path that many people took and it worked and it built their network. And pretty soon, after your first and second and third visit, you will be asked this question. People will ask you, okay, well, how did you get into this? What did you do? It doesn't take very long before you are now the person in the room that is actually advising others. And, eventually, I think in a very short amount of time, you'll find yourself in a group that you're very comfortable with and starting a whole new career that you really enjoy.
Wow, very good advices. Thank you very much, Rami. It's great to have you here. And
pleasure to be here.
Thank
yes,
you.
thank you so much. Thanks for having us. Great, right?
Rami, great. Really,
thank you.
Appreciate
the platform. And that is it for day number 1. Come back tomorrow for day 2 here at Intergeo 2025.